imagine a lot of you are probably wondering what I think of the leaks that are coming out about Scorpio. Now, first of all, these are leaks, so there's a limit to how much we can actually trust what we're being told and what we're seeing. Then there's also the aspect of all the people on the internet going, see, told you so, you can't have 4K with that little power. And it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll grant you that. But, you know, it was kind of nice, you know, it's like, I like the idea of this really, really powerful machine. Because when one company makes a really powerful machine, it pushes the other companies, you know. Everybody has to try that a little bit harder to keep the audience, you know. It's just a basic thing. If company A makes this awesome machine, then company B has to try harder to keep everybody interested in their machine. Just, you know, that's generally a good rule of thumb. However, admittedly, I have wanted an Xbox for a good long time now, but have been unable to afford one. So I also, slightly selfishly, wanted the Xbox Scorpio to be really powerful, for it to drop the price of an original Xbox One second hand to stupidly low levels. Considering that, like, PlayStation News Now yesterday reported that in America, if you were to trade in your PS4, your OG PS4, you'd actually have a good amount of money that would do you quite nicely for getting a Pro if you wanted to do that upgrade. But to do the same, if you're an Xbox guy, you'd have to trade 2 Xbox Ones to get a Pro. And then you'd probably still need another $20 to $50. Ouch. So that's how little the American second-hand market believes in Xbox. It's not a good sign for Xbox people, you know. It's like, you know, they've got a good machine. It's got a lot of capabilities. It does a bunch of things the PlayStation doesn't. And I'm a PlayStation guy, I can admit that, you know. I love my PlayStation. I mean, you know, I've had all of them, and I've enjoyed them all very, very much. But Sony's not without its faults, but Microsoft's not without its faults, and Nintendo, PC, blah 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 blah, all not without its faults. So yeah, I was looking to, like, you know, towards the end of this year, hopefully picking up an Xbox One original model, with Connect or without Connect, doesn't, not really minding one way or the other, for about 80 quid was my hope. And I think my hope might be a little bit dashed if Scorpio is not going to be as 4K native as it was originally touted to be, which does make me worry for Microsoft, because if they come out at E3 last year and go, we're bringing you a 4K system, and the internet all went, 4K? Really? How? And Microsoft were like, well, we're doing it. And some people are like, cool, wow, they found a way. And other people were doubting. How much nicer would it have been? How much more interesting would it have been if Microsoft had actually found a clever way? You know, I mean, they're doing their sparse image thing, which is basically another version of Sony's checkerboarding, which basically means that the Scorpio is a slightly more powerful PlayStation Pro, but for Xbox. And considering that, you know, Sony will have basically almost a year jump on the machine, because they'll have already been working with HDR and, you know, how to bring games across for gamers in that particular way. It shows yet again that Sony were ahead of things, and they have a more consistent plan for the future. Now that's not to say Sony are allowed to get complacent, because they've done that in the past. I mean, we all remember the launch of the PS3. Whew, that was messy. However, it does have to be said that it does seem to be pretty much the case that Sony can't do wrong. Now, you all know that I think there are issues that Sony need to improve upon, and that would be lovely. But if they're not pushed by Microsoft, I don't think they'll be pushed by Nintendo, because Nintendo are way off doing their own thing, as Nintendo tends to do. I mean, that's just Nintendo way. We do our own thing, thank you very much. Then, yeah, I think we're not going to stagnate, but I think things are going to improve at a slower rate. But it definitely will be the case that Sony's sales records, I think, will stay in place for a good wee while to come. Now, if indeed there'll be a 9th generation, but then we'll have to see what happens there when the user base translates to that generation as to how things will go. If indeed there will be 9th generation machines. I mean, Shohei Yoshida and Philly have both said, you know, that they're looking at incremental upgrades. But then if the incremental upgrades don't work, might they just go back to full cycles? And if they go back to full cycles, how long will those cycles be? What will those machines cost, and what will they consist of? These are all, you know, thoughts to bear in mind, and, you know, generally be concerned of. Not scared about, but definitely, you know, something to watch, something to think about. So yeah, that's what I think. You know, I'm relatively hopeful for the future of gaming, you know, because it's getting bigger and better as the years pass, and, you know, we're having more and more games on the market, and more developers, but also sometimes less developers, because, you know, studios are shutting down. But then we're also getting more indie stuff, which means greater development and more sort of sideways movement. So yeah, it's an interesting, tricky time. We'll have to see how it pans out. Of course, you know, there's always the financial side of things, you know, because let's face it, we're all skinned, and it's not looking like things are going to get any better soon. In fact, a lot of people saw Trump come in and go, God, it's getting worse. I mean, considering he's scrapping trade deals and doing all kinds of other dumbass stuff, but that's his way. It's just, I don't know, it's, you know, the future is never clear, but at the moment it's extremely mudded. You know, you can't even see a way forward. So yeah, I still hope to get my hands on a second-hand Xbox before the end of the year, or run of it at the end of the year, for relatively cheaply, and then get to play a whole bunch of the games that I missed uber cheap, because they'll totally be lovely low price second-hand games, and then I can bring you content from that as well, which would be nice. Anyway, I think that's pretty much everything I can put into the argument as it stands at the moment. And yeah, just look forward to gaming. Look forward to new tech when it drops. Don't be crazy with your fellow gamer, you know. Give him or her a bit of breathing room, and let's just try to enjoy ourselves, shall we? Okie dokie guys, I think I'll leave it there. Rate, favourite, comment, share, subscribe, and of course, as always, aye, nae bother.